Mozilla. Hey everybody, welcome back to Lens Logic. I'm here in Florida on a little mini vacay, and I'm here with my friend Abby, and she is an owner of a gym down here in Florida. And I wanted to have her on the podcast because they do a lot of their content in-house and they do a lot of their advertising in-house. And I just wanted to ask her questions in terms of like her mentality, how often they do content, what their repetitiveness has to be, and all that kind of stuff, so that you guys can hear what it takes to actually run a business by doing your own content. Well, so thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Of course, we have our little like gym podcast here.
Yeah.
Her husband's working out in the background, so if there's any loud bangs, that's what that is. Why don't you tell me about the business, like what you guys do?
Absolutely. So we are a local gym in Clearwater. We do lots of athletics training, but we pretty much take the term athletics and use that for any human body. So we train anyone in town, and then we are now getting into online fitness training as well, which is, of course, where the content really comes in.
That's awesome. And then what made you guys decide to like want to start this place, have your own gym, that kind of stuff?
Well, Adon, my husband, he's had the gym a little longer than me, but, you know, we both grew up in a healthy environment, loved fitness, working out, and he actually made some Olympic bobsled team, and he decided to take that teaching and help people here.
I guess really the reason I wanted to talk to you was because ever since I followed you on Instagram, I see you guys like post every day, and I see you're always posting like not just like trash content. You're actually posting helpful content. You're showing like, this is how I like boosted my booty over 1 year. This is what you need to do to whatever. Like I always see like really useful stuff. Mm-hmm. And to me, that is like the key to having like advertising on your social media, is like having useful content. And I just kind of wanted to know like your mentality behind like how you post, what you post, that kind of thing.
Like you said, that quality content, especially local and trying to reach more people, the more content we put out and the better quality, it just brings people in without us even having to outreach. So, you know, they see it and they're like, oh, who's this chick? She owns a gym. I'm going to go there. Or who's this dude? He looks cool. I'm going to go work out with them. So, you know, the quality and the amount that we post is for that reason.
And like when these people come in, have you ever asked them like how they showed up or like what about whatever they saw like made them want to come in?
Yeah, usually it's that they're impressed with a lift of ours or impressed with someone that we've helped, and we posted about it.
So maybe there's some like word of mouth too, huh?
Yeah, I would say a lot of it is word of mouth, either from content or friends and family.
That's cool. And then how do you decide like what you're going to post? Like, is there like do you guys have a formula? Not that you have to give away secrets or anything, but like, what's your mentality when it comes to like, okay, we need to nail these things at least once a month or once a week or something?
For a long time, when we started creating content, it was like so stressful, and it was like, oh my God, let's just think of a random idea and try to make a video. And we still do that to some degree, but now anytime we have an idea, we write it down. And then the biggest thing is capitalizing on what people engage with and ask for. And then we really make content based on that.
What people are asking for this? And like, are there people in the gym, or are they followers? Like who are you answering?
Mostly like random people that come in from social media, and then some friends and clients as well. But my husband, he's known for being very strong, but specifically with his back. And, you know, a lot of people out there hate that. They think it's dangerous. They think he's going to die. He did a 275 like back extension. So it's crazy. And
that's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's like more than you think.
Yeah.
And I would say 99% of the comments were like, this guy's going to die, fake weights, like good luck in the hospital. Right. So, then my favorite story is the day after we put him on a scale with all the weights to be like, this is not fake. And then people were like, fake scale, you suck. Fake. So, you know, we go off. We kind of either play with people's feelings a bit or just go off what people think is true or false.
I always find it funny. Did you guys cringe when people are commenting on it, or like did you take it like as a sign of success?
The first time it went viral, we were like, a little offended. We're like, wait, what? We're just trying to share this really cool experience. And then as it went on and on, it was just like funny. It's like, dude, these people are jealous or literally can't imagine that this actually happened. And then it went viral again, and we just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, in my experience, those viral moments are the ones that, like, whether people who are hating on you, whether they're commenting more on your stuff or whether people who like you are commenting more on your stuff, to me, like, the more views, the more eyeballs that you get on your stuff.
You know what they say, all clout is good clout.
That's true. Before that, they would say there's no such thing as bad press.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did my own video where one of my buddies helped me out, and he asked me, like, what's a controversial opinion? And I said that most photographers are button pushers, meaning they just show up at their camera and they go, stand here, click, 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 and they take a million photos and then edit it all in post and make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, that's not what I do. I take, I use my lighting and my composition skills and things like that to make beautiful images. And when I first put it out, it blew up and it got like 50,000 views. And I got all these really great comments. Oh my God, I've been saying it for years. Yes, thank you. Like, all this stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely important.
But then it chilled out for like a week, and then it like got shared a bunch again.
Yeah.
And then it got another 50,000 views. But the last half of the comments were like, you're a gatekeeper, you're, all this crazy stuff. And at first I was like worried, but then I realized that, like, there's so many people who are seeing my profile right now and knowing who I am now because of this one video that, like, to me, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And it's like, dude, even if 10% of people take away a good point from it, well, that's, 10% more than the others. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So are you guys like super thoughtful when it comes to like your content, or do you just kind of like come up with ideas and go, hey, this would be a cool video, let's make that? Or do you just kind of like whatever's happening, you video that and post that?
We kind of have this approach that, like, more content is better. So we still keep quality in, and, we have someone edit our videos and make sure that they're good information, but not to the point that it restricts us to making one video so good we can only post once a week. So we really do try to post like 1 to 4 times a day on each social, and make sure that, like, if I was scrolling, would I want to stop and watch that? Or like some of the videos I've done, I'm like, dude, I would never watch that. Like, why would I post something I wouldn't even watch? So as long as it looks good, sounds good, and, looks professional to some degree, I think it's good.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that before, because when I post videos, I honestly don't care if people think they're interesting or not.
Yeah.
My mindset behind it is eyeballs.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients follow me. And a lot of people who aren't my clients, who should be my clients, follow me. And I find that, like, as long as I can just keep reminding people, like, hey, I exist. Hey, I'm here. Yeah. This is what I do. Like, that's enough to, like, because, somebody might be like, oh, I want to do a photo shoot, and then be like, oh, it's not time for whatever reason. And then be like, I'm going to call Fossil in, 6 months. And then in 6 months, they've met 5 photographers and they forget about me. But if I'm constantly, like, every week they see, a video of me or something, it's like they remember me. So for me, it's more like repetition. Yeah.
I think it's important to, like, announce what you do too. And, like, for me, the more outflow, meaning the more you put out there, the more you'll get in. Yeah. It doesn't even make sense, but the more you put yourself out there, the more you get. And I used to just post, like, my workouts. And then I was like, I never said I own a gym. Like, these people probably just think that I work out, like a lot of other people.
That's a good point.
Or maybe you just like pictures, and then you're like, no, I am a photographer. I can do this service for you. Or I'm a gym owner. And that was big, because I got a few people like, oh my God, no way. I didn't know that you sold programs. I didn't know you were a trainer. So, I think that's also important. Kind of, like you said, putting yourself on people's feed so much they can't really miss you, or they can't forget about you. And then announcing what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Because one of the things I say a lot is I always talk about, like, making sure that, like, people know that, like, you're an expert in your field. Yeah. And give them little tidbits of something that relates to your field that they wouldn't necessarily be able to, like, figure out themselves, or ask their friend who's an amateur, whatever, who would know, And so do you guys do that? Like, what is your take on that?
Yeah, I would say like 90% of our videos are like that. Like, hey, you don't want back pain, do these things, and you could do them on your own, but it's like, most likely you would want our guidance to do those things. So, some of it's fun and exciting and funny, but I would say, like, we push a lot of information, because it kind of gives someone like, oh, I want to know more, or I want to do those things. I need help.
That's so cool, because a lot of times, people will just see people on Instagram and whatever. Sometimes they seem like they know what they're talking about. Sometimes they don't. And maybe they're not good at social, but they do know what they're talking about. Maybe they're good at social, but they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. I see trainers out there that, even I feel like us, we're like, oh my God, we know so much. A lot of people have so much good information and it's just not being pushed to enough people.
Like when you're at night going to sleep before you go to bed or whatever, like scrolling, and you see like fitness stuff on Instagram or on TikTok, like do you like, are there any like thing funny that you see where you're like, oh, that guy's doing it wrong or anything like that? Or like,
I actually never have scrolled in my whole life. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, a lot. I think especially when it comes to like form and real information, which is like what we are all about here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just like, mostly girls that I see obviously is like, this is how I lost 100 pounds or this is how I do something and it's like not correct. It's like, because then other people are going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Cause my thing is when I see, stuff like that on my feed, because occasionally I'll get stuff like that on my feed and I just like know that their form is bad. And I'm like, how does this chick have, and maybe she's not like flexing hard or like, have an OnlyFans account or something, but like for some reason she's like, yeah, do it this way. And I'm like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Like I always wonder, like, how do they have so many followers?
Usually they're either hot or they give something that could work, but it could be done better. You know, so it's like if some people do it and it works and then that's the rave, but you could get hurt or like there's gradients into that exercise, right? But I'd say mostly because they're good looking in fitness.
And then, okay, I mean, that makes sense. So then do you guys here as part of your guys' social, do you tend to show anything to like counteract that kind of phenomenon?
We haven't really gotten into like the world of like dissing other people in content. I think it's definitely potential. Like people that do that usually get, it's controversy. People like that.
Yeah.
Occasionally we'll say a lot of people do it like this. This is how you should do it.
Yeah.
But, now that you say that, I'm like, that would be good because...
I just mean like because... in any subject that is around where you have professionals, like they're the ones who like know how to handle stuff and what to do. Yeah. And then you have so many people who are maybe into that. Like there's so many people who are into photography who are just like, amateurs. And, at some point I feel like they get pretty good, but they're still doing stuff wrong. Yeah. But like, just to separate yourself from them in terms of like what and like elevate your guys' brand higher. Yeah. For me at least, that's like a move where I have to like separate, where I have to say in videos like blah or show that I'm more of an expert,
That makes sense. Definitely want to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Than other people and show what you offer,
So have you guys like subconsciously or consciously tried to like put that out in the content you guys create, or do you guys just do your thing that you do and just hope that people get it?
I think we're getting better at it. I think we used to just put like almost boring stuff out and just be like, I really hope someone sees this and likes it. But the more we learn about social media and the more people we have around us, it's like, okay, you have to be entertaining and you do have to separate yourself. Otherwise you're just another fitness trainer.
That's true.
And there's, even in this town, there's 6 gyms. Like, so you know what I mean? Like you have to show what's unique about yourself. To not be one of the 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that on the stuff that I've seen you guys put out, you really do have some kind of uniqueness. I couldn't put my thumb on like what it is. Yeah. But for somebody who's not like super into working out or fitness,
get into fitness.
It was very interesting.
Good. Well, I'm glad. That is the goal. Also to attract new people, meaning like people that don't work out, like make them comfortable, but make them want to, work out or join or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you this. When you guys first started this gym.
Yes.
And you had no clients, or did you have clients when you first started?
Long story, a few, but no, not like now. And it was like friends and family, it wasn't like tons of random people like we have now. Okay.
So when you guys started, then like how soon did you figure out that you needed to start like pushing content out or how, what was the process, I guess, in terms of like
not
that?
Soon enough. We actually had one of our competitors more or less do it years before us because we really started content last year and we've been open for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
So bad. Like
Well,
we
yeah,
could
bad.
be
Yeah, I
huge.
didn't know you guys were here 6 years ago.
Yeah. So, my husband's had the gym for 6 years, and our other competitor started it basically like 5 years ago, and he's huge. He's huge. And good for him, dude. Like he closed his gym. He has a full online company. He's huge. We've been doing it for a year. So we did not figure out soon enough that we had to do it. Even stories like of people working out. We existed somewhere on Google. That was it. No before and afters, nothing. So about a year ago, we were like, damn, everyone else is doing this. Luckily, we have clients because we're good trainers. We did not do it soon enough. And ever since we have been doing it, I mean, it's huge. And now we can actually start to build an online presence.
And and then what was like the oh shit moment that like caused you to realize like, hey, we need to start doing this?
Basically a friend of ours allowed Adon onto his channel, and he got like 30,000 followers from a video, which was crazy.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, like from one video from this guy that is huge. And from there, we're like, well, we can't just let these 30,000 followers sit and do nothing or just unfollow us. So we were like, well, we better start making content. And since then, we were like, at least one a day. And, we've had our weeks where we slack and whatnot, but that's kind of been our like, all right, since then we have these followers. Let's try to grow them organically. But we literally knew nothing. And I was editing my videos on Canva at night. So,
it's okay. Yeah,
I mean, and
gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I would still do that. But point is, like, I was just like, ask Google, how do I edit videos?
Yeah.
And it was like, use Canva. I was like, okay.
Well, it's good that you figured that out. I mean, one of the things that you guys really lucked into, one of the like social media strategies is when you start a brand to make a partnership with like another brand that has a huge following that's similar to yours and get them to like tag you and shout you out so that you can get your own following. So that was that was great that you guys did that.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand that.
Even like, luckily we had this huge communication to this huge guy. Yeah. But even when we do videos like with our friends and they have 4,000 followers, like even like collabs are in our business huge. Yeah. Well, now we both gained each other's 4,000 followers, so that's been definitely successful. And like you said, if you have someone big, that really does it.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to say about that was that a lot of people don't understand what you just said, how that works. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I was on the phone with a client yesterday and he really, really, really wants to like get going. He's had a business. He's been operating for 25 years. And, I asked him, I said, like, why do you need to start doing this if you've successfully been doing this for 25 years? Yeah. And he said, because, like a lot of my clients are of this age and in the next 10 years, the people of that age are going to be internet going people. Yeah. And he doesn't want to get left behind. So he at least understands that he needs to like start doing stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a new age, what I mean? It's just, I freaking had a 70-year-old come in off Instagram video once. So everyone's doing it.
Yeah. So exactly. So you never know like what, you do a collab with somebody who has 4,000 followers and you're like, maybe they live in New York and most of those followers are in New York. It's like, whatever, like to not do that would be stupid because you're giving yourself access to 4,000 people that you didn't have access to before for free.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
I just want to also talk a little bit about that last client. The main question that he was struggling with, and he told me that he thinks that like some of his, colleagues and even competitors have the same. The question is like, how do I use photography and videography and social media to like help my business? I think that's like a really, really big thing. I think that there's a lot of kids nowadays who use TikTok and Instagram Reels to promote their stuff. But I think it's just because they've grown up on TikTok and Instagram and they like TikTok and Instagram and this is what they know, Yeah. But I think for people who maybe are a little bit older and who it wasn't like, since they came out of the womb on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, that it's like a little bit like, there's a disconnect there.
I mean, you still have to, like, as much as you can do TikTok Reels on your phone or whatever, you still have to have an online Google presence and a website. Like, I would say for 99% of businesses, you can't really have an iPhone picture on your website. Maybe one or two.
That's right.
I've had people pick my gym over other gyms because my website, my presence was there and professional and, professional pictures. So, and all of our Reels that are professionally done way more views. I mean, it's just like, oh, they know what they're talking about because maybe we're worse or better, you know what I mean? But it's just because they're done.
Well, I'll give you a little insight on that. A lot of the times on Instagram, you know, and even on TikTok, like it's a visual platform, and people who are watching that are looking for pretty visuals, you know?
Yeah.
And so obviously, like if you're walking on the street and you see like a Toyota Camry that's red, and then you see a Ferrari in front of it that's the same color red, you're going to go to the Ferrari because it's visually more stimulating, you know?
Yeah.
And so that kind of applies to content. Like, you can just throw up some stuff with your iPhone, which is cool. That's, to me, that is the move when you want to just keep like repetition, getting the message out there, like, hey, remember me. Yeah. But then there's some content you want to kind of have sort of more permanently. And that's the stuff I feel like you need to do like more of a professional vibe, or to get a higher level of it so that you can get out there and capture people's attention with those visuals and get their attention, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think like you said, pushing, you know, content in general is important. It can be done however. But you do want some professional look. When I go on people's Instagram, I'm like, how does it look? Yeah. And, you know, especially if you're like selling online courses and more intricate stuff, those things, in my opinion, definitely should be professionally done. Someone paid. At that point, it's like, come on,
exactly,
get a camera.
Exactly. At least do something. Yeah. I've actually talked to clients too, where they're like, yeah, I think it's about time to do like a photo shoot. And I'm like, okay, cool. What's your website? And I go on their website, and there's like a picture from, you know, 1996, which it's like this big, you know, very small. Yeah. And then that's the only picture on their website. And I don't understand how those people have been able to survive in the internet age as a business with stuff like that. Really?
No, not anymore. But before last year, yeah.
Yeah, well, you figured out quick though, didn't you?
Yeah, but like our website was bad, and it was like some pixelated picture of us like somewhere in a field, and we got no website traffic. So I don't know how those people exist either. Cause like you better have a lot of freaking friends.
Well, if you think about something like, what was like something you looked for on the internet recently?
Wide toe box shoes.
Okay. So let's say there was a wide toe box shoe store here in town. Okay. And you were like, oh, great. That's cool. There's a store that exists here. And you clicked on the website and it looked like it was from 1996.
I wouldn't go.
Exactly, right? You wouldn't even be like, maybe their website is just out of date. Maybe their business is so good, right? Exactly.
I would just go to the one that looks cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of people don't understand that. And I've been try to tell all my clients this, because this is like one of the main reasons why you have to do content, why you have to constantly be filming yourself, why you have to get your expertise out there, and also why you have to have good photos to like, you know, boost your online presence, because like the website exists and you can walk around town and pass out your business card. Yeah. But like if somebody goes to your website and looks at your website and it doesn't represent you, and it looks like this business is fake. Yeah. Like they're not going to call you.
We never got calls when our website was barely not even there. It's like, why would I go there? It's just some random Google listing, or like you said, like some old store, even if their product is great.
Exactly.
It's just like, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Like if you were looking for, what are they, wide toe box shoes? Yeah. If you Google search that and you found 2 stores, and let's say the one had just like a warehouse full of wide toe box shoes, but it had a crappy website, and there was one that had like 3 pairs, but had a beautiful website, you'd probably go to that one.
Yeah. I would get one of the 3.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, well, this is all I have. You would forget that other one even existed because there would be no representation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't think about that, but definitely. To clarify, wide toe box shoes are shoes that do not cram your toes.
Oh, got it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You should get some.
I think I get wide shoes anyway, so.
You should get wide toe box shoes.
For dudes, do they have those?
They have them.
We'll talk about that later. Okay. You can send me some links of all the stuff you found on Google. Yes. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to ask you specifically is, because you guys do so much content. Yeah. And I always see you posting, right? Yeah. One of the big things that like some of my clients, for the first time before we start doing content, one of their objections is like, you know, oh, it's so hard to like think about filming. The client the other day on the phone was like, I have so many ideas for videos. I want to make this video. I want to make this video. I want to make this video. But I can't, like, I have so much work. I can't stop to do something because I have to now video. How do you manage your life and your business and your content so that you can do the content easily without like a bunch of like extra added steps, but also so that it doesn't necessarily interfere with like you have to go train somebody, you have to work out, or you have to like do the business part of the business.
I mean, it can definitely get stressful in the beginning, especially because it's like in the beginning too, it takes like an hour to make one video, right? Not always if you're by yourself though, in my experience, and things mess up. But, you know, the most successful I think that I found is either having a very specific time that I know I'm going to film, or like I'm going to do it all on Saturday. So my daily tasks during the week, I don't think about filming, or I grab a camera and do something. But in general, like, you know, really planning out what you're going to film and when you're going to film gets it done a little bit easier.
That's smart.
And then I always have my random like, oh, I'm going to video me doing this exercise, but that's all extra, you know?
I wanted to ask you that because for me, I'm always doing content for other people.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just like, this is just what I do. So I don't ever, but then when I have to do my own content, then that's like hard.
Yeah.
You have it down to where like you do your content at a certain time per week, but then you kind of fit in random stuff here and there, and you have it in your mind, and it's so like drilled in, I'm guessing, that like you don't really have to think about it too much anymore. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, it's still something that when I lack on it, I'm like, oh, I have to get this going again. But in general, like I have my, you know, on Saturday I film, that's set up for the week, so I at least have like, you know, the chunk of content done. And then like stories and little things, it's just like, oh, I better film this, or it would be good to film this because...
I mean, it's just better when it's authentic, and then when you're not like staging it, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
And then, okay, so when you do your stuff on the weekend, let's say you film however many videos, like, do you edit it yourself?
I don't.
How do you get editing taken care of?
I have a editor that I've met, you know, through the years, and I send everything to him.
And he knows what to do?
Yeah, that is his profession, you know. He sometimes will film them as well, but even if I film them, I'm like, no way. It takes me so long to edit. And when he does it, I don't care. I'm like, it looks good. He approved it. He's a gym editor specifically.
Good.
And it always looks great. So that's been huge. Just even having someone edit is just like, I literally could not edit all the videos that we put out.
Yeah. So do you find that paying this guy to do this thing that you could probably do yourself, and maybe if you did it a lot, you could do it like very efficiently, but just having that task assigned to him is like something that takes like a load off of you? Absolutely.
Like more than I could even express. And like trying to put in the little GIFs or whatever, I'm like, dude, that alone will take me a whole 2 hours to figure out how to get the GIF and put it in the video. Like I'm not an editor, I'm a trainer, you know what I mean? Yeah. So absolutely. I find with like the ones who are like really cost conscious, they don't think about how much time they're saving by having somebody who knows what they're doing to actually like handle that project. I always say, like, in my experience, even in all aspects of this business, the more I can confidently allocate jobs to other people, whether it's finances or editing, it gives me so much more freedom to get new clients, to expand, to do what I'm good at. So editing, filming, all of that is like, yeah, I'm sure I could learn and get really good at it. Like, I have no doubt about that. But I don't need to take 2 weeks to learn how to edit a video, you know? Like, if I can have someone do it and I have time to call new clients, that's what I want to do. So I definitely, that one's huge. Like, definitely think it's worth it. I agree. I fully agree. Yeah. It's like me, dude. It's like every time I have to buy something, you know, that's not like equipment related, because if it's gear, I'm just like, oh, I'll buy it. I don't care. I want that, you know? I think everybody just goes through that where like the number scares them. Yeah. And then once they kind of get over that and start feeling the benefits of whatever that is, and they see how much it helps them to be able to do what they're doing, for sure, and not do all these other 50,000 things. Yeah. That is like such a helpful thing. I mean, it's always, for me, I pay what makes more money. Like, I pay people to do what makes me more money. Content definitely makes me more money. You know, if I was like paying someone to pick out my outfits, it's a little different. Because it's like, it's a personal thing. But this is like something that very, very obviously in today's world makes you more money, whatever you do. So for me, like, it's an investment, you know, I'm investing in my company. Sure. Which might sound funny with filming to people, but it really is. So it's very worth it. So one thing that I've noticed, because as a photographer, I don't do any advertising for myself. Okay. Like, I do everything myself. Like, I film my own content, yada, yada. Yeah. And so I noticed that there is definitely
a pattern that you can see when you're putting out a lot of content versus when you're not? Because for me, like last year in at New Year's, I came to Florida because I like to chill out here for New Year's, and I was doing this big editing job for this big fashion company. So I wasn't doing any content. I was like 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. working on this editing job for like several weeks.
Yeah.
And I noticed like January, I had no jobs. February, I had no jobs. March, and I was like panicking. So I just started blitzing and making a bunch of content and posting all of those reels and things that I had kind of maybe half edited before. Finally, by like mid-Feb, like all of a sudden, everybody wanted to hire me.
I mean, I think this like really goes back to the more you put out, the more you'll get in, whether it's in a day or in 6 months. Like the more that I post that I'm a trainer, when people are ready to work out and they know I'm a trainer. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, with my husband's Instagram, if we post 5 videos a week, we get, you know, like 37.7 to 37.8, like no matter what, we always gain that many followers. The minute we miss days, it's just like,
As far as like new clients coming into the gym or new leads or whatever you guys keep track of, how does that correlate, say, with like what you're talking about, the amount of posts? Like if you missed a post or if you did your 5 posts or however many, how does that correlate?
It's just always noticeably that we didn't get new clients. It's mostly for us, the online sales. Yeah. It's like, okay, let's say we on average get 5 a week and we post our 5 videos a week. And the minute all of a sudden we post 2 videos a week, it's like 1 new lead or 0. Like it's just, for us, we've always noticed the more content we push, the more we push what we do and how we can help people. You know, there's so many people out there. Yeah. And if 10,000 people see a video and you get 5 new clients, I mean, 5 new clients is good for most people, you know? Yeah. So that's really my mentality. If I get 1 new client or 1 friend telling another friend that I'm a trainer from 1 video, I'm happy.
My sort of mentality is that you as a business owner should have a bunch of content that you do self-sufficiently, but then you should also have content that's like of more professional grade, that's more of like the permanent grade that you can have to kind of like repost and you know, get those new followers and get those people who have never had eyes on you.
Absolutely. And like ads. And when it comes to big things like that, like either if you're selling something or ads or people seeing your stuff for the first time, I think it being professionally done is very important. You know, of course, we can post iPhone content. Yeah. Like to your followers. I don't think it's a problem. Sure. But those big major things and some of your content should be professionally done. Okay. And so is there anything else you wanted to say? Any advice as far as like content or filming or anything like that that you wanted to add to this? You know, I would just say the more content you put out, the better. And if you have someone to help you film and edit, it will always be easier, like from personal experience. And I'm not someone that loves to be behind the camera, but you know, we all have to do it now. Yeah, I agree. When I go on photo shoots, it's just me. Yeah. And I will always like have like somebody who's there and I'll be like, here, and I'll hand them my phone and be like, this is what I need you to film. I need you to do one this way for the vlog. I would need you to do one this way for TikTok. I need 10 seconds. Yeah. And I like tell them all the parameters that I want them to do. Yeah. And sometimes it's like absolute crap, but most of the time, I'd say 90% of the time I get usable videos. Yeah. It's good. Okay, cool. Well, hey, thank you for sitting down with me and letting me like ask all these questions and imparting your advice. Always welcome. Guys, I'll put her social stuff in the description of the video so you can follow her or you can, you know, stalk her videos or you can come and sign up at the gym. Do it all. Thank you. All right, guys. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Fazila podcast. If you'd like to know more, you can check out my website at www.fazila.com. That's FAZILLAH.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at fazila.photo. Stay tuned for more episodes where I'll discuss photography and how it relates to life, marketing, and other subjects as well.